bout presented by Budweiser. Friday night fight 29-2 with 16 knockouts in his career. On the other side, Paul Spadafora out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Never been off for more than 3 months. He eats, sleeps, and drinks boxing. Spends 15 hours a day working on his craft. 24-0 with 13 knockouts, although he is not a big puncher. We are getting set for tonight's first bout of the evening. Let's take a look at the rules as governed by the state of Illinois for tonight's bout. No 3 knockdown rule, no standing 8 count. Fighter may not be saved by the bell in any round. The referee or doctor can stop the fight. Accidental cuts, they'll go to the scorecards after 4 rounds are complete. Well, one of the judges is Gary Merrick from Muncie, Indiana. Why that's important? Well, Teddy, Spadafora was going to pull out of the fight today because he was not happy with the judges originally scheduled to work this fight.
Yes, his promoter, Mike Akey, did a good job. He was not happy with local officials. He made a big to-do about it. He got his way. He got 1 out-of-town official, 2 from here that he is satisfied with. You have to look out for your fighter.
The other judges are Jerome Jacobuco and Steve Corbo, both from Illinois.
Well, Martinez has already made his tribute to Dennis Rodman with the hairstyle. It's very bright red.
Rodman will not be returning to the Chicago Bulls, although he is not retiring. 28 of the 31 bouts in Martinez's career have come here in the state of Illinois.
Well, the battles of tattoos are even so far. But as far as what will physically happen, we'll find out very soon. Spadafora, as you pointed out, not big power. Real good boxer and a southpaw. He has that edge.
Take a look at the knockout ratio for Martinez, 52%. And for Spadafora, 54%.
Martinez has been in there with the better opposition, no doubt about that. His 2 losses, nothing to be ashamed of. 1 for the lightweight title of the world against Philip Holliday in '95, and 1 against former 2-time world champion in '96, Joey Gamache. All 12-round decision losses. Spadafora has not been in with that kind of competition. But he's a terrific boxer. Stay in front of you, make you miss. Like the old timers would say sometimes, throw a handful of buckshot at him, you couldn't hit him in the backside. That's what he's going to have to do because he can't outstrength Martinez.
Spadafora, an outstanding athlete, had Division II basketball scholarships, but he realized that he was too small to take that sport anywhere. He stands at 5'9", and he realized that boxing was where he wanted to be. And Spadafora, very interesting because that's where he was offered the basketball scholarship. And Teddy, instead, he comes from a fighting family, and he's not even a natural southpaw.
No, he's not. He's really different. He's a guy that came in as an orthodox fighter, which is a righty, and because his brother was in his gym as a southpaw, he copied his brother, and he made himself a southpaw. And it was too late to turn him around by the time he got accustomed to it.
Martinez able to land some lefts and right hands. Martinez with the harder shots. You see Spadafora with the slick movement.
For a guy like Spadafora, there comes a time in their career they're going to find out if they can deal with the stronger guys. Tonight is that time against Martinez for Spadafora. Being just slick sometimes isn't enough. He's going to have to fight in spots too.
Well, in this final minute, final seconds of round number 1, both men have been able to land some meaningful shots in the first round. Fairly even round between Rocky Martinez and Paul Spadafora from Chicago, Illinois. Well, tonight in our main event, a good one. Omar Shika and Anwar Oshana squaring off in a 10-round super middleweight bout. Oshana 21-1 with 12 knockouts. Omar Shika, on the other hand, 15-1 with 10 knockouts in his career. That's coming up in tonight's main event. Bob Papa along with Teddy Atlas. And Teddy, before you can run, you have to crawl. We're early in 1999 in this new year, but this is a very important fight for both men.
No doubt about it. Bob, with the Super Bowl only a week away, you can look back at the playoffs, the teams eliminated. You can make an analogy to this fight. Somebody's going to be eliminated tonight. Somebody's going to be able to go on to a Super Bowl, maybe to a world title fight. And somebody's going to go home, collect the golf clubs, at least into next year, and they're not going to be in the mix.
Well, they say styles make fights, and this one really on paper has a tremendous style to be a very good fight.
Yes, it does. With O'Shana, you have a guy who's real gutsy, comes right at you. Shika, real gutsy, right at you. Only difference, Shika's a little bit more of a power puncher. Can O'Shana's chin stand up to Shika's power? That's going to be the test.
And that will be answered in our main event tonight. But right now we begin round number 2 between Paul Spadafora and Rocky Martinez in this 10-round lightweight bout.
The test for Martinez tonight is not going to be just power. He's a decent puncher, not a huge puncher. He's not going to beat Spadafora, a real good boxer, just because he lands big punches. He's going to have to land enough punches. So he's going to have to be busy. He's going to have to be smart enough not to get outboxed and get jabbed to death. He's going to have to throw enough punches. Boxers always have a decent time with big punches, Bob. You're just a puncher. That's nothing for a boxer. A boxer has trouble with a guy who can jab at him, a guy who can mix with him, with a ratio of punches. That's what Martinez has to do.
Spadafora threw 86 punches in the first round. 50 of them were jabs. That is his game. You see the connect percentage for Martinez, much better. He only threw 36 punches, but he did land 14. He only threw 5 jabs. So now, once again, you get into that scenario of who landed the cleaner blows or who was the more active. It was a very tough round to score. I thought, though, Martinez won that first round.
I would probably have to agree with you, but again, could be an even round. Or, as you just mentioned, could go the other way. Boxing, sometimes the scoring is a little too subjective. What I meant by a boxer doesn't worry about big puncher. Of course you worry about puncher, but you're geared to avoid those big punches. They have to have something to deliver that punch. A jab, trickiness, and the ability to not get frustrated.
Martinez able to land a decent right hand a few seconds ago. Both men were very busy in 1998. Martinez was 6-0 with 4 knockouts last year. Spadafora in 1998 posted a 6-0 record. He had 3 knockouts. We saw him here on Friday Night Fights on the Deuce back in October. Spadafora with a 10-round decision against Sam Gerard in West Virginia. It was a shutout. In his last fight on December the 4th, 10th round TKO against Desi Ford. Ford dislocated his shoulder, but Spadafora was pitching the shutout. Good left hand from Spadafora.
Nice counterpunching by Spadafora, staying right there, just out of range, just at the tip of the door, so to speak, right outside there. And he either leads with a jab or makes the other guy miss, and then he pops them in. You can see he's just using that jab just to kind of draw something from Martinez. Spadafora has to do though is use that jab. He's going to snap that jab out like he did there.
Must mention too, Teddy, that this works against Spadafora, the size of the ring. It's only 18 feet by 18 feet inside the rope, so very tight as we come to the end of round number 2.
Of the top 4 oil companies in Canada, only one, the one you're looking at now, has its world headquarters here. Those windows on the right, that's the research department, where they develop super clean winter gas. A special dual protection formula that helps prevent fuel line freezing and that cleans as you drive. So, how did they come up with the idea? Let's just say it came to them while they were staring out the window. Super clean winter gas, only from Petro-Canada. You have to live here to get it.
Elvis Stoico gives his all. No holds barred, nothing held back. Just full out with everything he's got. Like McCain Frozen Punch goes full out with thirst-quenching flavors like grape, orange, and fruit punch. McCain Frozen Punch delivers the real fruit taste of real fruit juice every time for champions like Elvis. When you want it all, go for the real taste of McCain Frozen Punch.
McCain, full out taste every time.
Welcome back to Carmichael's Hall in Chicago, Illinois. Bob Papa along with Teddy Atlas. Friday Night Fights on the Deuce. Paul Spadafora and Ray Rocky Martinez of Chicago begin round number 3 of this 10-round lightweight bout. You know, both of these men come into this contest. Spadafora undefeated. Martinez with the 2 losses in his career. We asked both men how they see tonight unfolding.
I expect him to, keep his distance because he's not going to stand there and fight me. Well, not all the time, but from his fight that I seen, he stands there and he throws punches, he exchanges punches, but I don't think he's going to really stand there a lot for me. I have to come out there and get him. I know he's a tough kid. Just go in there, outbox him, because I didn't see that much speed when I watched him on his last couple fights, or when he fought Philip Holiday. He just got outboxed. That's my plan, is go in there and outbox him.
So that's the game plan, and have both men see the fight unfolding. We're going to take a look at some punch numbers, Teddy, through the first 2 rounds. In round number 2 alone, Spadafora threw 101 punches. He only landed 13, but he threw 56 more punches than Martinez in the round.
Have to throw punches. You know the old saying in lottery, you got to be in it to win it. You got to throw punches, you're going to win a fight. Unless you're a huge puncher and you can pull it out of the fire. Neither one of these guys seem to fit that bill.
Pretty good round number 3 for Spadafora.
Yeah, good round 2, I thought. I thought he came back after maybe losing the first round, had a good second round, starting to establish control here. See the way Martinez just dropped his left hand to block that right uppercut of Spadafora? He picks them off, he parries punches. You can use that against the guy. Spadafora should fake the uppercut and then bring it up top. But a guy who looks to pick your punches, fake a punch, get his hand out of the way, and then you got a clean opening there.
One thing we'll have to watch is underneath the left eye of Spadafora. He suffered a cut under that left eye in his last fight. And we had a chance to talk with the boxers yesterday. I was able to notice some discoloration underneath that left eye. He says it's not a problem. He took some time off in the gym. We'll see if that, as the fight rolls on, has any bearing as he's able to score with some shots.
Probably be more of a problem if he had a southpaw in front of him, because that side would be exposed to the right jab. But being that it's the left side, the left jab is the one that comes at you the most time. So he won't have as much of a problem. See what Spadafora is doing. There's a certain distance. When Martinez gets to that, Spadafora beats him to the punch like that, and then he changes his distance. He keeps the edge. He stays the boss that way. But when he lets Martinez cross that line, then Martinez is the boss. Right now, Spadafora looks to be the boss.
We can help you.
Thanks. That's great. Sorry about this.
Have a nice trip.
Who are the real heroes? Are they noticed by many? Or appreciated by a few? Do they make a big noise? Or quietly get things done? Are they the ones who take on the world, or do they take care of the ones who matter most?
Dyed red hair. And right now, a very interesting bout, because Martinez has been more accurate in his punches landed, but Spadafora has thrown many more punches. And Spadafora is the boxer, and you take a look at the jab numbers, Teddy, and I think the alarming fact there is that Spadafora is so inaccurate with his jab.
Well, you got to give credit to Martinez. He's not just a walk-in kind of guy who just walks in and slugs. He's trying to be a little tricky in there. See how he pulled back there, made the punch fall short. He's not a defensive genius, but he's not a walk-in catcher. Right there, he made punches miss. Just little subtle head movements rather than coming in on a straight line. And he's got a sense of anticipation. Spadafora, sometimes what he does is he takes too long a look. He's in there, he's looking for the opening look, and Martinez could beat him to the punch. He's just not doing it. I think he's gained the respect of Martinez with his counter-punching ability. And he's got Martinez a little tentative. And if Martinez stays tentative, he's going to lose his fight.
All right, take a look at Teddy's scorecard through the first 3 rounds of the bout. 29-28 Spadafora, 2 rounds to 1. There's been no knockdowns. Now the man has been hurt.
Martinez cannot match Spadafora in ring smarts and cleverness or in hand speed. He's going to have to get in there for a lot of punches, and he's going to have to press the issue. Staying outside like that, being a little tentative, fits right into the hands of Spadafora.
Good right hand by Martinez. He follows it up with another shot.
That's what he's got to do when Spadafora puts his head in there and poses and takes pictures. You got to throw. Don't get conned by it. Throw.
Spadafora digging to the body.
You know, make a guy make you a believer. Make him show. You know that show me state sort of comment. When a guy moves his head and leaves his head out there, throw at him. See what he does with it. But don't just stay back and take his word for it that you can't hit him. Good body punch there by Spadafora. That's where a guy who's not a big puncher can be effective, by going to that body. Especially if you go there early. You can start to wear a guy down if you catch him clean. There's certain organs in the body that can't be protected, no matter how many sit-ups you do, believe it or not. If you catch the guy clean around the liver area. Of course, in the solar plexus too. Go back, we do classics. Fitzsimmons, way, way, way back in time. He had the solar plex punch. Heavyweight champ of the world.
Spadafora will move away and he tags Martinez with the left hand.
That was set up nice by that movement to the side.
The slick boxing of Paul Spadafora. The plodding heavy hands of Rocky Martinez.
A cough or sore throat? Aren't you glad you have friends? Like Fisherman's Friend medicated lozenges. They even make nasal passages feel clearer. So try Fisherman's Friend medicated lozenges with over 100 years of effectiveness.
It's the biggest Raw is War ever, February 8th in Toronto. And you and a guest can be ringside courtesy of TSN on the Raw Road Trip. Watch Gallagher Off the Record and Raw is War on TSN for details on how you can enter for a chance to win ringside seats, hotel merchandise, and more. Or a Royal Rumble on Viewer's Choice and be automatically registered to enter. See it live, live it, and get rocking with TSN and the WWF Raw Road Trip.
And that's the bottom line. The Stone Cold Section.
TSN's Gord Miller heats up Canada's premier hockey magazine, That's Hockey. Get onside with the experts of the game. Join Gord Miller for Molson That's Hockey, weeknights on TSN.
For the second week in a row, Angel Man Freddie checking out Friday Night Fights on the Deuce. Last week he was in Las Vegas, and Teddy, there were some rumors going around that the winner of this fight might fight Freddie. But I don't know about that. I don't think Spadafora would. He wants a world title shot.
But he may have to. Let's be honest here. You got to be realistic. He's a guy that may have to. He's not an Olympic champion. He's an undefeated kid, but he hasn't beaten a real big name. He may have to take that kind of fight to get to the next level. If he has to, then he will. It's all about what you have to do. Supply and demand. That's what boxing's about. He doesn't have to. He won't.
Chance of Rocky from the Chicago crowd. Interesting because Spadafora has thrown so many more jabs than Martinez, although the connect percentage is woefully low for Spadafora. In the power shot, Spadafora has thrown 58 more power punches and landed 20 more in the fight.
Very bluntly, Bob, Martinez is not fighting a smart fight, and quite honestly, not a fiery fight. You can fight dumb, but fight fiery, and you still got a shot, especially with a guy who can't punch. So if you make a mistake, you don't get knocked out. He's standing back, he's falling right into the hands of Spadafora. He's not going to outspeed him, he's not going to outshoot him. He's going to get scored on like that if he stays outside.
Now, we heard in between the rounds, Martinez's corner talking. Teddy, you may want to explain what we heard in that corner.
We heard kind of what we're talking about. His corner told him, say, listen, you got to get in there, you got to throw punches if you're going to win this fight. Otherwise, he's going to out-cute you, and he's going to make moves like he did on that side move early in the last round. He's just going to make you look silly. You got to close the gap here. Take away the ability for the guy to use the ring. He right now is using the ring because he has the distance to use the ring. Take that distance away.
And Spadafora is making this 18-foot ring look like about a 22-foot ring.
You can see Martinez got a little discouraged. He threw some punches, but he misses because of the defense of Spadafora. He's got to stay with it. I know it's easier for me to say, but he's a pro fighter. He has to stay with it and switch to the body. You won't miss the head so much if you go to the body. The body's not moving.
Let that go, Paul. Let's go.
We might have a Teddy tip for you coming up in the next round.
Hopefully something to look for during the course of the fight.
Well, the end of the 5th round will signify the midway point of this 10-round lightweight bout between Paul Spadafora and Rocky Martinez. And right now, Spadafora controlling the action against the Chicago resident.
Happy New Year, Jeff. Cold enough for you?
Especially when your heater isn't working. I need something good and warm.
How about a fruit muffin with your coffee?
Claire, you read my mind.
Tim Hortons Wild Blueberry and Chunky Apple and Spice Muffins are baked fresh every day with the freshest tasting fruit and ingredients. So enjoy one with a medium coffee for just $1.69. It's a great start to any kind of day.
Hey, can I borrow your mitts?
Welcome back to Chicago. Bob Popple along with Teddy Atlas. It is time for another Teddy tip. All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going on here in the ring and what we should watch for.
Early in the rounds, I saw that Martinez was pretty good, pretty adept at parrying punches, blocking punches. Use that against the guy. Spadafora.
I'm Martinez.
You're Martinez. Good. You're losing. When Spadafora threw a punch early in the fight, he threw the uppercut. Martinez blocked it. So Spadafora should say, okay, I'm going to use that against him. I'm going to fake it back and bring it up top. Look for that. Maybe that'll happen.
All right, we'll watch that for the final 5 rounds of this fight. Paul Spadafora and Rocky Martinez. See if that works out. And there's a left hand from Martinez. Let's see if Spadafora can work off what Teddy has shown us. Good round number 5, though, Teddy, for Martinez, because he started to rough it up a little bit.
At the end of the round, he had to pick up where he left off, kind of like the Atlanta Falcons did last year in their football season. He's doing it.
Yeah, Martinez starting to press Spadafora. This is not Spadafora's fight.
He's got to keep it up now, Martinez. Has to keep it up. That's where he belongs. That's what we were yelling at him about, that he was standing outside the door. He decided to come in the door. Now stay in the living room.
Don't step back out and clean your feet off.
No, that's right. Get it dirty. Get that room nice and dirty. Mud all over the place. He's starting to wait a little too long. He's got to be consistent. You know that old saying that from some of those movies from The Gambler, they don't pay off at halftime. Well, you know, you don't win a title, you don't win, go to a big spot doing it for 6 rounds. You got to do it for 10, and then later for 12.
Straight left hand by Spadafora. Right hand by Martinez just missed.
He has not kept it up so far. Started off just the way he ended the last round. Right way. Getting inside and working. See that lead hook? That should be a jab and then go to the body. You're not going to hit a cute guy like Spadafora with wide lead punches. Now Spadafora was satisfied to make a miss. What he could do is step in and beat him to the punch. Then a guy who's not a big puncher can hurt a guy because you can hit him with a punch clean coming in that he doesn't see. He's got to make a choice. Am I satisfied just to make a miss, or do I gamble and beat the guy to the punch? You're going to be a world champion. You got to start learning how to gamble a little bit. Smart, calculated. Yeah, start doing it.
Calculated risks.
Otherwise, you'll be one of these guys later on in the big fights that does enough to lose.
Let's go work out of those guys. Let's go, man.
You don't want to do enough to lose well.
Well, after a pretty good round 5, Rocky Martinez controlled the first half of round number 6, but as Teddy alluded to, did not keep the pressure on. But it does flip a right hand that scores.
It was a close round. Martinez did good well trying to come on here, but Spadafora took at least half of the round by reestablishing control and tempo and dictating that spot there at the outside.
Round number 6 in the book.
Both Molson Canadian, a lager beer that's bright and clear. Molson Canadian, brewed by men who know their beer. Molson Canadian, lager beer. Next time you've got a thirst for a lager bright and clear, Molson Canadian, lager beer.
I'm a music major. It's tough. I mean, you go away from home, and I really wanted to do well. So what I really needed was a big screen notebook with DVD, but I couldn't find the right one. My roommate told me that I could get Dell on the internet. Dell built a notebook just for me. I got right online and found answers to 1 million questions at some pretty weird hours. They're making me look way too smart.
Be direct. Dell. Dell computers use Intel Pentium 2 processors.
You're looking at Omar Sheik of Patterson, New Jersey. He squares off against Anwar Oshana in our main event tonight here in Chicago. Sheik spent 3 bouts in Europe last year. We asked him about coming into Oshana's hometown, and he says, hey, it's only a 2-hour flight from where I live, so I'm not really worried about it. That's coming up in tonight's main event. Right now, a very intriguing bout between Paul Spadafora, undefeated at 24-0 with 13 knockouts, against Rocky Martinez. We're going to take a look at some punch numbers through 6 rounds, and Spadafora obviously much busier, but take a look at the connect percentage. And Teddy, we've seen this before. We saw this with Richard De Jesus against Orlando Canizales in Philadelphia in December. How are the judges viewing the fight? The guy who's the aggressor or the guy who's landing the cleaner blows?
Again, it's supposed to be who lands the most clean, effective punches. If that's even at the end of the day, then you start to go to other things, like who's the aggressor, ring generalship, maybe even defensive abilities. If you get that far and you're still even. Starts with who lands the cleaner, most effective punching. That's professional boxing, the opposite of amateur boxing. Amateur boxing is just who lands the most punches. A knockdown is supposed to score no more than a clean jab. Professional is supposed to separate those rules because you want to put fannies in the seats.
We have a sellout here in Chicago tonight. Crowd juiced up. A lot of disappointment in the Windy City with Michael Jordan retiring, the Bulls being broken up, and the fact that the Bears were supposed to announce a new head coach and had to cancel it today. So they were kind of juiced up for some professional boxing.
Again, here you see Spadafora dictating what's going on. Martinez gets to the outside of that door. Before he can walk in, Spadafora beats him to the punch and then makes a nice move around him. See how he made sure he didn't get trapped on that rope? That's knowing where you are, being aware of the court, being aware of the ring. You know, a basketball player has to know the court, has to know where everyone is. Can't wait till the last second. Keep your head up when you're dribbling, see everything ahead of time. Well, a boxer has to know where he is before he gets trapped on the ropes. Make that turn. And he did. I figure I'd throw basketball in there, Bob, as long as we're in Chicago.
That's right.
As long as we have Dennis Rodman's main man up there, Martinez.
Well, whoever did Rodman's hair in here in Chicago is a new client, Rocky Martinez. Good left hand for Spadafora.
He's throwing combinations, Spadafora. And he doesn't care. You can see he doesn't care if they land as long as he does the job. He keeps the guy busy, keeps the guy defensive. And he doesn't wait to see a perfect opening. Martinez looking for a perfect opening. Meanwhile, he's losing. Spadafora figures how to create the opening by just letting him go. See? Gets off, gets out. And Rocky's left there to shadow box. And to lose another round.
Well, after 2 good rounds by Martinez, a solid round 7.
Centuries ago, the humble potato was praised for its nutrition and worshipped for its delicious taste. Discover the new golden standard that's making modern history. Introducing McCain Home Fries. All the deep-fried flavor of your favorite fry. Crispy outside, moist potato flavor inside. Crispy McCain Home Fries. They could change history. Taste it and believe it.
More than 8.5 hours a day of sports news. Live updates throughout the day with breaking stories and bureaus across the country. With the drive and experience to succeed.
2, 1, take 1.
We are journalists. We are fans. We are Sports Desk. Mornings, early edition, and night.
Standing room only crowded. Carmichael's Hall in Chicago, Illinois. Friday Night Fights on the Deuce. Bob Papa along with Teddy Atlas. Glad you can join us. Rocky Martinez and Spadafora in a 10-round lightweight bout. We begin round number 8. And Teddy, very good round number 7 for Spadafora, and they want to see even more jabs out of him.
Well, they should. They got a guy who's fancy. They got a guy who's got a little bit of a longer reach, and the style suits him to jab. The style for Martinez is to get inside. You know, you got to know your style. You have to know your limitations as well as your strengths. Clint Eastwood said that, I think, in Dirty Harry. Man must know his limitations. My boy Logan over here, the punch that guy, he likes that.
Oh, Spadafora tripped up in the middle of the ring. They slipped a bit. Short little left hand by Martinez on the inside.
See how Spadafora, when he got inside, he used his feet. He moved around Martinez. He did not stay right in front of him. He did not say send it. He didn't give him much to hit. He moved around him. You can keep a guy moving his feet by moving around him. Usually the guy cannot punch. Like that. The guy did throw a hook, but Spadafora was smart. When you make a move around the guy when you're close, you should bend, just in case a hook comes. That time he didn't bend, but he was out of reach.
Mentioned that Spadafora is trained by Al McCauley. Also, his grandfather, Eugene, moved up from Florida last year to work with Paul in the quest of Paul becoming a world champion someday. His grandfather, not feeling well, went back home. And Paul says as soon as his grandfather gets better, he'll be back together again.
He definitely has fighting in his bloodlines. His brother, as we mentioned, Harry, was a real good amateur. At one time made it number 3 from what we're told in the U.S. As you said, his grandfather.
See Spadafora slipping on the ring mat. Yeah, a little slick.
On the logo. When those logos, they're painted on. When those logos get wet, we've seen it many times, they can really become a problem. You can really start slipping on them. And someday they're probably going to turn a fight around. As I was saying, grandfather of Spadafora was a fighter, as you said. Matter of fact, guy that's not bad. He's supposed to be a distant cousin of Joey Maxim, who's a former light heavyweight champion. Beat Sugar Ray Robinson in that famous heat exhaustion fight.
Well, there have been no knockdowns in this fight. Spadafora, at certain points, has looked very, very solid with his slick boxing skills. In rounds 5 and 6, when Martinez kept the pressure on, he was able to get to Spadafora and get him out of his fight plan.
He wasn't consistent. In this world, anything you do, you have to be consistent. You're going to be able to really get to the next level. You can't be spotted.
Now 2 more rounds to go. Spadafora and Martinez.
Wake up to the taste that makes every day feel like a weekend. McCain Gold and Crisp Waffles. Perfect taste and texture because McCain makes them waffle iron thick to stay fluffy on the inside, toasting up gold and crisp on the outside. McCain Gold and Crisp Waffles. The perfect waffle taste that makes every day feel like a weekend. Wake up to the perfect waffle taste of McCain Gold and Crisp Waffles.
Well, last week, my partner Bob showed that he's a little bit more than just a blow-by-blow guy. He also can do a little prognosticating.
It is round number 9.
The way I see the fight unfolding, I see both are being able to take some shots from Tyson. So this thing goes to about the 5th or 6th round, but Botha has absolutely no punching power, and Iron Mike will finish him off in about rounds 5 or 6. Guys?
Good job there, partner. You want to switch mics here?
Here we go with
guys. Kind of had a feeling Tyson would be rusty. That didn't really take a Zen master to figure that one out. He was woefully rusty, but he did win. And we'll talk more about Mike Tyson later on in the show. Of course, Brian and Max have a lot more in the studio tonight on Friday Night Fights on the Deuce. Paul Spadafora and Rocky Martinez underway in round number 9. We're going to take a look at some punch numbers through round 8. You see Spadafora throwing 332 more, but only landing 9 more shots. Although in the last round, he did land 32 of 99 punches. He threw 50 more than Martinez in round 8.
Again, you see Martinez staying outside that front door. There's a little slip again on that logo. Spadafora, the one who figured to slip more because he uses his legs more. If you slip and the guy's throwing a punch, you could have a problem.
Especially if you slip the wrong way.
The people that make these logos, they really should put more sand in them or make it a little bit more rougher, where obviously you can get more traction. Good body shot there. Martinez just does not throw enough punches, does not push the issue. There's a left hook, but he's not a big puncher.
Nice counter left
win the
hand.
fight with one punch.
Good counter left hand by Spadafora.
Oh, he's a fighter. Even if he gets hit, he does what a fighter's supposed to do. He comes right back and breaks it up. So you're not behind in the scoring, and so you don't let a guy put punches together. You come right back and break it up on the guy.
So look at Teddy's scorecard after 8 rounds. 79-74 Spadafora. That was 77-75 Spadafora. A little bit closer.
Every time Martinez, Martinez puts his hand behind the guy like Tyson does. I have news for you people out there that think Tyson want to fight inside. He doesn't. Just like when Martinez put his hand behind the guy. When you put your hand behind the guy, you're not looking to fight inside. Otherwise, your hand would be in front of the guy.
His point.
You're almost hoping the guy grabs your hand.
Try to snap his arm. Just kidding.
Here you see Spadafora controlling that edge, controlling that invisible line there. There's an invisible line. Guy crosses it, he can get hit or he can hit. And Spadafora controls that invisible line. It's right there. He controls it. As soon as Martinez is about to step in, Spadafora either beats him to the punch or makes a miss. Makes a miss and counters like that, or beats him to the punch like that. And then he ties up. There, Spadafora ties up because that's smart.
Teddy's found a usage for the ESPN first down line that you saw in all of ESPN's Sunday Night Football throughout the season. Where they put the line onto the screen. You can see where the first down walkthrough is. Teddy, we can use it here in boxing. Martinez lands a shot, but it's Spadafora who's able to move away. The 10th and final round still to come.
Sometimes eating the foods you love can lead to heartburn. So before heartburn bites, bite back with chewable Pepsid AC. When taken before you eat, Pepsid AC is the only chewable that can stop heartburn before it starts. You can be heartburn-free with chewable Pepsid AC.
They wanted freedom. The town wanted order.
Hands down.
But the harder they try to control them,
We do things around here my way.
the harder it is to stop them.
Let's roll!
Get ready to shake up the system.
Sex and football.
I raised you to be a winner.
Varsity Blues.
Thank God I like sex.
Now playing in theaters everywhere.
Our first trip to Chicago in a long time. We're at Carmichael's Hall. The pungent smell of popcorn and a lot of cigar smoke. Real fight fan scene as Paul Spadafora and Rocky Martinez begin the 10th and final round. Very interesting bout. Spadafora has been much busier. Martinez a bit more accurate. Neither man has been down in the fight. Take a look at some jab numbers through 9 rounds. You see the tremendous difference, which is obvious when you look at Spadafora and the style of fight that he brings, but the accuracy, I think, is a little bit alarming that he has been so inaccurate. Martinez slips down.
That's that logo.
Watch the push.
That's that logo.
Let's go.
That painted logo. He slipped on that.
Well, Martinez slipped just to start the 10th round, and he looked down at his feet. What makes it slippery is the fact that the boxers, you know, they take water in, they have water poured on them, so now that gets on the ring mat. And on the painted surface, it gets slippery.
They should do something to make it more porous. I mean, it's the nature of the business that there's going to be sweat around here. What do they want them to bring napkins into the ring?
Oh, Ted. Great point. You see Martinez slipped again, and he got caught.
Martinez has a big problem besides the slipping. He's behind, at least on my scorecards. He's behind in the fight. He needs a knockout to win, and he just does not have that kind of firepower to pull it off. At least he hasn't shown it. He needs some of that Al Capone firepower right now.
Well, he's never had a knockout past the 8th round. Does score with the left hand and a right hand. And then Spadafora moves away.
Spadafora falls right back into the mode he needs. He doesn't stay away from it too long. He'll fight with you a little while, then he gets right back into that boxing mode that he makes his, that he butters his bread with. He knows what it is. Control that distance, use the jab, counter punch, tie up when you're inside, get outside again. Control that invisible line. There it is. He beats him to the punch before Martinez can set up camp. Again. Keep the guy, if you can, keep the guy defensive by beating him to the punch. Then you don't have to touch your defense. When you're inside, tie the guy up. Good body punch there by Spadafora. He set it up by going to the head. Brought the guy's arms up and then went down.
Spadafora is good. I mean, there's no question about it. He is a very slick southpaw, only 23 years of age. But he's a guy that, as you mentioned, is probably going to have to take some tougher fights than normal to get that title shot because he's not glitzy. Doesn't have that knockout.
He's going to have to take a risk with that. You're right. I believe so anyway. And he's going to have to show when he goes to the next level. He's thrown us a lot. He's going to have to show that he can deal with the bigger punches and the guys who are a little more consistent. But so far, you can't knock him.
Al McCauley lifts Spadafora. Has Paul remained undefeated at 25-0, or has Rocky Martinez picked up his 30th win? We'll find out how the judges tally their cards when we return to Chicago after this timeout on the Deuce.
McCain wants to give you a chance to win one of 5 1999 Ford Windstars in the McCain Win a Windstar Sweepstakes. You could be rolling down the highway in one of 5 brand new 1999 Ford Windstars with dual sliding doors and 5-star safety rating. To enter, send your name, age, and address along with proof of purchase from your favorite McCain product to the address below. Don't let the McCain Win a Windstar Sweepstakes roll on by you. Enter today.
January 24th on Discovery Channel. The Waco tragedy.
You come point guns in the direction.
The congressional investigation.
Was there a cover-up? I'm sorry.
The intricacies.
Law enforcement. Is he the son of God? They shot first.
All the different truths.
The FBI never fired one shot. I do what I'm told as long as it's legal and moral.
Using CS gas against infants, that's
Waco.
Torture.
The rules of engagement. On Discovery's Sunday Showcase 4-star documentaries. January 24th on Discovery Channel.
In the next 10 years, more than 500,000 Canadians will start a small business. They'll need financing and a wide variety of services to help them get going. At Canada's banks, we know we have a responsibility to help. One way we're doing that is through this booklet called Getting Started in Small Business. It's full of information, including how to write a business plan. Call the number on your screen for a free copy. Because the more you understand, the better off you'll be.
33-1, Dana Rosenblatt is in our main event next week on Friday Night Fights on the Deuce. You see him beating Terry Norris there. He'll take on Aaron Superman Davis in a middleweight bout at 9 p.m. Eastern from Foxwoods Casino. Friday Night Fights on the Deuce presented by Budweiser. And we're glad to be in Chicago. The fans here to see Anwar Orshana of Chicago, Illinois, 21-1 with 12 knockouts. Square off against Omar Sika in tonight's main event. Let's take a look at some total punches in the bout. You see Spadafora way the busier of the two boxers, but not landing at a much higher percentage. And Teddy, we will take a look at your scorecard.
I have it 99-92 as it says.
Well, we are getting set for the for our first bout in the decision. Let's send it up to our ring announcer, Michael Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Jacinto scores the bout 97-93. Judge Merritt scores the fight 99-91. And Judge Corbo sees the fight 97-94. All for the winner by unanimous decision, the new Pittsburgh Kid, Paul Spadafora.
Well, grandfather Eugene will feel better as Paul Spadafora moves to 25-0. A unanimous decision against Rocky Martinez. You saw Teddy's scorecard 99-92. I had it 97-93 in favor of Spadafora. He's 23 and he's slick. May have to take some chances in the future. Let's check in with Brian and Max.
Indeed, Bob. Thank you. Now, where does he go from here? You got an unbeaten guy, 23 years old, but there's a lot of talent around his weight class, Max.
Yeah, I said at the top of the show I couldn't wait to see Spadafora fight. Maybe I could have waited a little. It wasn't an overly impressive showing. You know, we did get some answers from Spadafora tonight. He'll do okay against the Golden Johnsons of the world. Just stay away from the Stevie Johnstons of the world. Stay away from the Mosleys and Zab Judas and Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s, because it's clear that Spadafora is not able and will never be able to compete on the real A level with the really best fighters in the world. But of the B level fighters, you should be able to hold his own.
That's not disrespecting because you point out Mayweather, Mosley, and Zab Judah. This is kind of a golden age of fighters around 130 to 140. People aren't aware of it yet, but they will over the next few years. A programming note before we come back here on Friday Night Fights. We'll take a break. The Australian Open can be seen here later tonight on ESPN2. The first Grand Slam of the year, 10 p.m. Pacific tonight, 1 a.m. Eastern. For more, go to ESPN.com or part of Go Network, go.com. Coming up next on Friday Night Fights, some say he shot. Did he show? redemption. More on Iron Mike. One out of 12 rounds that were scored. Now, also, this is a guy, Franz Botha, who's maybe number 20 or number 30 in the world. The other part is after the fight, Mark Schwartz talked to him, and you saw the first thing that Mike Tyson said is, did I show character? And we'd be ripping him here if he didn't show enough character and he got himself disqualified. So let's give Mike Tyson some credit for sticking with it. I thought he'd get DQ'd. He didn't. He stayed in there long enough to starch this guy with one shot. But now, Max, we've seen a deterioration of skills. Now we're going to see what this man is made of.
Yeah, you know, I know Evander Holyfield was the greater. With most of what Petty said, and I think that Tyson's eventually just going to be a name on guys' records, a big name opponent.
This is against George Foreman. Lou Savarese actually went toe-to-toe with Foreman.
Jimmy Ellis is all over Ernie.